NWA Southwest action. Don't miss it. Do you want to find out if you have what it takes to become a professional wrestler? You can do it today at the NWA Wrestling Academy. Call 972-881-2452. The NWA Southwest Wrestling Academy is the most publicized wrestling school in Texas. Come train under NWA stars Kit Carson, Chris Germany, Super T, and referee Rick Manning. And debut in the NWA. For a tryout date, call 972-881-2452 or find us on the World Wide Web, swawrestling.com.
Introducing, he weighs in at 243 pounds from Lake Dallas, Texas. He is the National Wrestling Alliance Texas Heavyweight Champion, Brian Adias. This is a one-fall, 30-minute time limit championship bout. Your referee, Rick Manning.
Main event action here on NWA Southwest. The Texas heavyweight title is on the line here as the challenger, Steve Dunn. At one time, Steve Dahl, when he made his debut back in World Class Championship Wrestling back in the mid-'80s, against the champion, Brian Adias. And boy, this should be a dandy. Stephen Dunn, of course, one half of the Texas Vols, or excuse me, the Tennessee Vols. And this should be a good match. Both two ring veterans and very familiar with the Fort Worth, Dallas area. Brian Adias, of course, from Lake Dallas, and Steve Dunn, formerly Steve Dahl, is right here from the Metroplex as well.
Well, I got to tell you, what a great Texas Championship match we've got here tonight in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm very excited to be here down at ringside with my partner. What's your name again?
Just call the match Opie.
Oh, I think Tony something. Opie, whatever. But we've got a wonderful match. The makings for a wonderful match here, and 30-minute time limit on our title match. So I see both competitors kind of feeling each other out at the beginning, kind of getting a handle on what each other can do, because they have not faced each other in the ring in many, many years. And, you know, this could be a really good one.
Brian told me earlier this evening, and now these two actually had quite a feud going on in the 80s back in the old World Class Championship Wrestling days. But these two have not faced each other in 12 years.
12 years, wow, many moons ago. And I tell you what, Teddy, these guys have held a grudge for 12 years, and we're going to see it explode in the ring here tonight in Fort Worth, Texas. Of course, Steve Dunn, one half of the very popular Tennessee Vols tag team out of NWA Worldwide up in Tennessee, but also a great singles competitor.
And, of course, Brian Adias, who's held the Texas Tag Team titles at one time with the late Kerry Von Erich. He's been the Texas Heavyweight Champion on many different occasions. Has also battled some of the likes of the late great Gino Hernandez, Bruiser Brody. Has even wrestled the Von Erichs a time or two in his career. Once tag team champions in Texas with the great Alberto Madril back in the late 80s.
Well, excuse me there. I tell you, Tommy Donaldson, you've got a lot of great memories of Texas wrestling, and if the fans out there want to kind of relive some of those memories and also catch the new wave of professional wrestling that's hitting as of late, come on down. Northeast Fort Worth, Highway 820 and 26, the Indoor Speedway Arena every Friday night. What a show we have every Friday night.
You said it, Opie. You've come a long way from the Andy Griffith Show. You're doing a really good job. And now, Steve Dunn pounding away at the head of Brian Adias. And Steve Dunn, who can be explosive in that ring there. Adias into the corner, and oh, he got the leg up. And we expected that. Hooks, 1, 2, and Adias gets a 2 count. The current Texas heavyweight champion against the challenger tonight from Tennessee, 1/2 the balls, Steve Dunn.
Well, you know, one thing that, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. It's actually in the ring with the lights on you, it's got to get kind of warm, and the champion Adias, Brian Adias, in jeans and leather chaps. I wonder if that's got to maybe be a little more of a fatigue factor. I mean, you wouldn't go jogging around the neighborhood a couple miles in jeans and leather chaps.
You know, Johnny T, at one time, Brian Adias was one very popular wrestler here in Fort Worth. But Brian Adias has changed his ways quite a bit. He's not the fan favorite that he was back at one time. And instead of hearing the cheers from the crowd, he's now hearing the jeers and the boos and many other things that come out of the young fans here at ringside, just come out of their mouths. And Brian Adias doesn't seem to mind that at all. As a matter of fact, he seems to kind of thrive on the fan disinterest in the new Brian Adias.
Well, Teddy, the thing is, Brian Adias doesn't give a hoot about the fans anymore. And I tell you what, the fans, when he came out, everyone in the building were booing Brian Adias except for one man who was applauding, but he was applauding the booing, and definitely not a popular man, but really a good wrestler, and somebody the fans want to come out and see wrestle.
Dahl gets a 1.5 count there, and just for the record, the name is Tommy.
Tommy?
Tommy.
Oh, okay, what's the last name? Donald, Daniel?
Forget it.
What?
You're a waste of time. All right,
Actually,
back to the action here.
Yeah, let's get back. Can you give me a soda?
Referee Rick Manning has got this under control here. 20 years in the wrestling business. Many of them spent right here in the NWA, the greatest wrestling federation on the planet. And of course, if you'd like to see the action every Friday night here at the Texas Indoor Speedway Arena, make your way down. Bell time is always at 8 o'clock.
5 minutes expired in this bout. 25 minutes remain in the time limit.
25 minutes remaining in this Texas heavyweight title. Brian Adias and Steve Dunn battling for the Texas heavyweight championship bout. And a lot of contenders, a lot of guys out there, Johnny, interested in this belt. I mean, you talk about some of the biggest names, you know, in this professional sport. Anytime you're talking about a Texas heavyweight title, obviously the Texas heavyweight title belt is right up there with the World Heavyweight Championship belt in the NWA. The Texas Heavyweight Championship belt, one of the most respected titles in our sport.
Well, let me tell you, Theodore, the belt, as you mentioned, not only in and of itself a great title and very coveted as its own entity.
Why don't you go get yourself your own show?
And very coveted, but also a stepping stone to matches for the world title and for the NWA North American Championship. So many competitors gun for that Texas Heavyweight Championship, not only for the glory contained within, but also to elevate themselves to shots at titles, as you mentioned, the world title, the North American title, and other championships here in the National Wrestling Alliance.
And Brian Adias back in the ring now, and he continues to work on that leg of Steve Dunn. 1, 2. Adias barely hooks the leg.
Well, Tommy, let me tell you a little bit, I'll give you a little HWO hot wrestling opinion on this one. Brian Adias is not the kind of guy that's going to give you an off-the-top rope Hurricane Rana. He's not going to be doing suicide dives through the ropes. He's more of a classic style wrestler. Chin locks, leg locks, wear a guy down with solid holds. So that's kind of his game. Steve Dunn, while he's been around, is more of a high flyer. He can battle all brawling, but he also likes to take the high-risk maneuvers. And I think if Brian Adias can trap Dunn in a lot of holds and wear him down, he's going to walk out with that belt. Otherwise, he's got to be looking out because Dunn is nipping at the bit to get that Texas Heavyweight Championship.
Well, there's not many moves or holds or situations that Brian Adias has not been in his wonderful 20-year wrestling career. Like we mentioned, he's been in with some of the toughest wrestlers in our sport today. And so Brian Adias always has a solution, or at least hopes to have a solution for any problem he might encounter in the squared circle. Right now he's in there with one of the hot young stars in professional wrestling today, and Steve Dunn.
Well,
into the ropes.
Steve Dunn has been around for a long time as he fires back with a great flurry on Brian Adias. A good combination by Steve Dunn, and he's got the champion rocking at this point. Flying mare onto Brian Adias, Tommy Daniels. Stephen Dunn of the Vols has things going his way.
And a chin breaker there. And Adias feeling that one. Once again, Adias now the reverse. Into the ropes, up, picks him up. Another airplane spin, and oh! He knocks down referee Rick Manning.
Wait, it's
hold
Team
on
Extreme.
a second. Team Extreme coming in the ring.
What's going on here? Team Extreme, they've got a grudge with Brian and Diaz from way back.
Oh, and a neck breaker.
Wait a minute, Steve. Rick Manning didn't see any of it. We may have a new champion, Tommy Daniels.
Hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3.
New champion.
We have a new Texas heavyweight champion.
The winner of this match and new NWA Texas heavyweight champion, Stephen Dunn.
One little help there from Team Extreme outside of the ring.
This man just got something he's always wanted, a new deck.
Now get 2 books for $2 with Time Life's Home Repair and Improvement. Order decks, porches, and patios for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
Listen to the sounds of savings, because inside every home repair book, you'll find dozens of ways to add comfort and value to your home. It could be new kitchen cabinets, a hidden recycling bin, a new ceiling fan, tile backsplash, even a screened-in porch. Time Life's Home Repair sets the standard for step-by-step do-it-yourself help.
So use your credit card to order decks for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
These folks are getting a new brick patio. What are you gonna get? Call now.
Call or order on the web at 800-524-7642. To get 2 books for $2, use your credit card to order decks for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
This is Kurt, the Big Hurt Reigns, and I am sick and tired and sick of all the injustices being done in the NWA today. To me, Kurt, I cannot believe it. I get overlooked for every title shot there is. I deserve it. I've beaten the best. You know what? Forget the heavyweight. Forget the hardcore. I want one thing now, and that's the tag team belts, and my man Tad is going to help me get it.
That's right. I've been here, coming down, giving it my all, 125%. I have been overlooked. I have been underpaid. I have been everything that you can imagine in professional wrestling except been at the top. I'm always having promoters put me in at the beginning of the cards. I don't ever get the respect that I deserve. And I said to myself, I said, Tad, it's not gonna happen anymore. It's over, it's done. The next time I step in the ring, somebody's getting hurt, and it's not gonna be me. Tell him, big man.
That's right. We're the Big Hurt. It's not going to happen. We do the hurting. Tad and me. That's it. Big Hurt, Tad. That's all you need to remember.
It's finished.
Oh, good.
One half of Team Extreme. That would be Kid Carson, and a big slap to the chest of Big Daddy Moore. 229 pounds, hails from Tulsa, Oklahoma, into the ropes. And a lariat there. And now retaliation as Big Daddy Moore pounding away at Kid Carson. Another blow to the back of the neck. Picks the big man up, down to the mat. As I'm joined here at ringside by Johnny T.
Well, Tommy Daniels, it's great to be here. The pleasure's all yours, of course. We've got a great match. Big Daddy Moore out of Tulsa and Kit Carson. I tell you what, we've seen Big Daddy Moore in action once before here in the NWA, and he put on a great match. A really good wrestler for such a, I guess, relatively new man to the sport. Kit Carson, of course, the hardcore icon kind of here in the NWA Southwest.
Well, he's going to have his hands full tonight, Johnny, with Kid. Kid, obviously a ring veteran, a veteran here in the NWA. one of the big names when you talk about the National Wrestling Alliance. And we will see exactly why here in this opening match as Carson has taken control. And Carson, as you know, the master of the barbed wire, and not to be forgotten, it's at ringside somewhere. We don't see it right now, but his tag team partner, I believe, Chris Germany, may have taken it back to the locker room, which would be good. We don't need that out here. This is not a barbed wire match.
Well, let me tell you something, Tommy Daniels. Whoa, great cross body. I'm going to give you my HWO, my hot wrestling opinion, and tell you in this bout, Carson has the experience. He's got great wrestling ability. Big Daddy Moore, new in the sport with a big slam, has the power advantage. I think that the only way Moore is going to win this match is to use that power advantage to catch Carson off guard. Otherwise, if Kid Carson gets him in some of his signature moves and wears him down, it's going to be Carson.
As you saw, he slams the big man to the mat there, picked him up with no problem. 221 pounds of Kid Carson, and continues those chops to the neck, or chops to the throat, excuse me, of Kid Carson. Carson in a little bit of pain, something we're not used to seeing. Kid Carson being on the struggling end here, as Big Daddy Moore is in control now, and a nice clothesline takedown, and down goes Carson, and that lower back is giving him some problems, Johnny.
Well, I'll tell you, Tommy Daniels, Kid Carson looks like he's in trouble here, but one thing that a lot of veteran wrestlers do at the beginning of a match with an opponent they don't know is they'll just kind of give them a little bit, let them, take a little punishment from them to kind of see what they've got, so they can use that on them later in the match, so they know exactly kind of what they're facing. And it's possible that that's what Carson's doing at this point.
Oh, yes, and a big spinning chop, and down he goes to the mat. Kid Carson back in control now. And Johnny, you knew that wouldn't take long before Carson got back things going his way again.
And here goes Carson for one of his signature moves, the Texas Cloverleaf. We've seen Carson, he might be going for it a little bit early.
Referee Phil Brown.
Oh, wait a minute. This could be over before it began, Tommy Daniels.
Referee Phil Brown is checking things out now. See if Big Daddy Moore is about ready to submit. Asking him once again, referee Phil Brown. Big Daddy Moore in a little bit of trouble, but he is not ready to submit.
Well, Carson just let the hold go. Maybe he feels he's in such control that he can just, let the guy have a submission hold, but I haven't seen anyone yet in NWA Wrestling get out of Carson's Texas Cloverleaf. I guess he's playing with them.
And here we go. As both men will go outside the ring now. Big Daddy Moore is on the floor already. Kid Carson picks the big man up. Oh, and drops him down neck first over that iron rail.
There's not a lot of give to that iron rail, Tommy Daniels, and he just kind of, he kind of flopped in two over the rail. Did Big Daddy Moore, and he's got the steel chair.
Oh, and you heard that from here, ladies and gentlemen. That chair over the head of Big Daddy Moore, and down he goes. Well, boy, my gosh, did you hear that?
Oh, and another big shot by Kit Carson, pummeling Big Daddy Moore. And that's the other thing that'll add on to my HWO is that Carson, with the extreme tactics, like you mentioned, the barbed wire, the chairs, I don't know if Big Daddy Moore was prepared for all that Carson was bringing to the table here tonight.
Kid Carson, a ring veteran, ring savvy, obviously he knows it all. He can take it dirty if you want to take it dirty. He can play by the rules. He can be a scientific wrestler, as we've seen from time to time.
Well, he was the Illinois State Amateur Wrestling Champion at one point, so we know that he knows the technical aspects of the sport.
Be careful now, as you got both wrestlers out in amongst the crowd. Once again, Carson has got the neck of Big Daddy Moore over that steel rail, and he's choking him. And now he just took a drink out of some ringside fan's cup, a water break.
Oh, that's hot cocoa in those cups, Tommy Daniels. We've got hot cocoa and hot coffee at the refreshment stands, and they're served in those styrofoam cups. That's hot cocoa he's blowing in the eyes of Big Daddy Moore. But referee Phil Brown's letting it go.
One fall, 15-minute time limit. Great match here in NWA Southwest.
5 minutes expire in the bout. 10 minutes remain in the match. Here's another signature Carson move, the T-bone suplex. Carson, the master of the suplex.
We'll see if Carson now will hook the leg, or is he going to work him over a little bit more?
Well, I tell you what, Tommy Daniels, I know a little bit about the inner circle friends of Kit Carson, and there's definitely two groups as he goes for the big drop. There's those that think that he's an ornery SOB who will just beat the crap out of it for looking him the wrong way, and then there's the group that doesn't think that highly of him.
Oh, that time he went to the well, just one.